even the best of us forget sometimes. But buckling up is one thing you always want to remember.
Seatbelts save lives. Drive safe, Alabama. A message from your Alabama Department of Transportation.
Baseball returned home for another SEC showdown, but just how did the Tigers do?
And football is back on the field this weekend. This and more on Sports Night in Auburn.
Good evening and welcome to Sports Night in Auburn. I'm Erin Wise.
And I'm Aaliyah Smith. Thank you for joining us tonight. We start with some breaking news. Earlier today, basketball sophomore guard Mustafa Heron announced he would be leaving Auburn in pursuit of an NBA career.
Heron made his announcement on Twitter, tweeting, "First off, I would like to thank the man upstairs for making all of this possible. I've always dreamed of playing basketball at the highest level, and now he's making that a reality for me. I would like to thank my coaches, teammates, all the Auburn fans, and Auburn University for a wonderful 2 years. Playing on the Plains was an experience like no other, and I wouldn't trade it for the world. With that being said, after discussing with my family, I've decided to forego my junior season at Auburn and enter my name into the 2018 NBA draft with intent to sign an agent. Again, I would like to thank everybody who supported me throughout this process, and I will forever be a Tiger. War Eagle."
As of right now, Heron has not signed an agent, which means he is able to return to Auburn until one is signed. Heron led the Tigers in scoring this season, averaging 16.4 points per game.
After dropping a 3-game series 1-2 to Missouri, baseball looked to close out their 4-game homestand last night on a high note, welcoming Alabama A&M. And the Tigers did exactly that, putting on an offensive show, defeating Alabama A&M 19-5. Auburn had 8 extra base hits, including 5 doubles and 3 home runs.
After dropping 2 home games last weekend, Auburn fell from number 9 to number 15 in this week's Baseball America poll. The Tigers are 1-9 SEC teams to be ranked inside the top 25.
Baseball wasn't the only team on the diamond making some noise this weekend, as Auburn softball made the trip to Oxford to take on the Ole Miss Rebels in a 3-game series. Auburn would capture another SEC win, taking the series 2-1 with the final scores of 3-1, 5-1, and 2-3.
It's been nearly 5 months since the Tigers took the field at Jordan-Hare Stadium, but their return is drawing near.
A look at what you can expect at 8-8 after this.
Fans, direct your attention to the flagpole for a special presentation.
You never really leave Auburn, because Auburn never leaves you.
So, I just moved in with this family, and it's embarrassing. The little one, he likes to go outside and crawl around in the giant litter box. I don't know what he's doing. I mean, I was born and I knew how to use the litter box. Look at that. That's disgusting. Oh, poop already. You're making me nervous. Oh, okay, I can't look at this anymore. I really hope he grows out of this, for his sake.
I hope that you've been able to learn a strong work ethic surrounded by character, integrity, perseverance, so that when your 1 second comes, you'll be prepared for it.
Chris Davis.
45, there goes Davis!
Your 1 second, our 1 second is now. And our lives have been guided by the principles of one of the greatest academic institutions in the country, Auburn University.
Your Auburn Tigers will be back on the field Saturday for their annual A-Day game.
The football team has been hard at work for the past month practicing for the upcoming scrimmage. There has been a lot that has happened during spring practices.
If you've been paying closer attention to Auburn basketball in March, here's what you can expect to see from the football team on Saturday.
Football kicked off their spring practices March 1st without the starting arm of quarterback Jarrett Stidham. Stidham had surgery to his left shoulder in February and has been limited throughout practice. If you are attending the game or planning to watch the game on TV, be prepared to see little to no action from Stidham.
Throughout the month-long spring practice season, Auburn has suffered 4 different key injuries that may impact them in the fall. Defensive tackle Daquan Newkirk was the first Tiger to go down, tearing his Achilles tendon while doing mat drills right before the start of the spring practices.
The first Tiger to get injured during practices was wide receiver Eli Stove. He would tear his ACL in the last practice before spring break. Wide receiver Will Hastings would also go down with a torn ACL in the team's practice scrimmage on March 24th.
Rounding out the injuries would be center Nick Brahms. He would go down a few days following Hastings breaking his leg near his ankle.
Considering the vast amount of injuries, you can expect to see many newcomers, including freshman quarterback Joey Gatewood.
The A-Day game won't be the only thing happening over the weekend. Auburn is planning to celebrate the return of football in a multitude of ways.
The university has a packed schedule, and you won't want to miss a minute of it.
The annual A-Day weekend plant sale kickoff the A-Day festivities. The annual event will begin at 7 a.m. on Friday at the corner of South College Street and East Sanford Avenue. The sale hours are 7 a.m. to 6 p.m. on Friday and Saturday at 7 a.m. to 4 p.m. on Sunday.
At 5 p.m. on Friday, the newest members, Auburn Athletics legend, will be inducted into the Tigers Trail during a ceremony at Auburn Arena. The 2018 class includes DeWanna Boner, Kim Evans, Freddie Smith, Jerry Smith, Ben Tamber-Ello, and Susan Nunley. Tickets for the event are $25 and are required to attend the event.
One of the most anticipated events to come to campus during A-Day is the Country Rocks the Plains concert, which is sponsored by the Hudson Family Foundation and Auburn Athletics. Country music can be heard on the green space for free. Concert by the Brothers Osborne Friday night. Gates for the event open at 6 p.m. The band is expected to play at 8:20 p.m.
On Saturday, the weekend's main event will take place, the A-Day game. Gates to the stadium will open at 1 p.m. The game will kick off at 3 p.m. Tickets are $5 for general public, but are free for students with valid United cards. Fans are welcomed onto the field following the game for autographs with the players and head coach Gus Malzahn.
Coming up, we'll give you a recap of all of the Tiger sports you may have missed.
And you don't want to miss our Player of the Week. We'll be right back.
Recently, our country has witnessed catastrophic devastation. Hurricanes and flooding have upended lives and livelihoods.
Across this great country, Americans have answered the call.
That special calling that compels us when others are down to step up and do whatever it takes.
America's at her best when, against all odds, we come together and lift each other up.
Please donate to oneamericaappeal.org. America needs you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Look at you. You're at the top of your game. You're unstoppable. Nothing can throw you off track. Wait, is that your car? Uh-oh. Yeah, I saw that coming. That will throw you off track. You're looking at around 10 grand in fines, legal fees, and increased insurance rates. Let's try this again. Smart move. Because buzz driving is drunk driving.
Equestrian looked to finish their season strong in the SEC championships. After a win over Texas A&M, the Tigers squared off against Georgia in the finals. The Tigers would end up falling to the Bulldogs 12-7. Auburn's Bessie Brown and Caitlin Boley would highlight the weekend for Auburn, being named the SEC All-Championship team.
Women's tennis hit the road this weekend for a 4-match road series. The Tigers look to get back into the win column in matchups with Tennessee Thursday and Georgia Saturday. Auburn would be unable to get the wins they needed, losing to the Volunteers 4-2 and the Bulldogs 4-1. The back-to-back road losses extends Auburn's losing streak to 4.
Men's tennis hit the court again this week, taking on 2 SEC opponents on the road. On Friday, Auburn took on Tennessee, looking to pick up their first win in conference play. Auburn would then travel to Georgia Saturday to take on the Bulldogs. Tennessee would prove too much for the Tigers, defeating Auburn 6-1. Saturday's the result would be much of the same for Auburn, losing to Georgia 6-1. The Tigers are now 0-8 in SEC play. Coming up, we'll look back at this year's NCAA basketball tournament.
We'll be right back.
Open road, here comes the Heffley family.
Whether it's a short trip or a long haul.
Estimated time, 47 hours.
They will beg.
You're hungry? I'm happy to provide.
They will plead.
Deep fried butter on a stick.
But whatever you do, don't wimp out.
Now you're talking.
Make them buckle up.
He can't hurt.
Remember, safety first. Cheese curls second.
Are you orange?
Here is my handle and here is my spout.
When I get all steamed up, then I shout.
Tip me over and pour me out. Oh.
It only takes a moment to make a moment.
Cheers.
Take time to be a dad today.
It's officially April, which means the March Madness has come to a close.
This year's NCAA tournament was certainly one of the most entertaining, but the championship game may not have lived up to the hype the tournament created this year.
Number 1, Villanova ran away with the national title, taking down number 3, Michigan 79-62.
With this win, the Wildcats have now won each of their national titles by double digits. This is their second national title in the past 3 years. So what did you think about the game?
Well, Villanova's Dante DiVincenzo made it rain during the national championship game, scoring 31 points off the bench, which is the most anyone's ever scored a national title game, coming off the bench.
Certainly a good game for Villanova, that's for sure. Coming up, we'll take a look at the upcoming schedule for all your Tiger teams. Stay tuned, you're watching Sports 9 Auburn.
Somebody seen him hanging around at the old dance hall on the outskirts of town. He looked into her eyes when she stopped him to ask if he wanted to dance. He had a face like a mask. She never said nothing, there was nothing she wrote. She gone with the man in the long black coat.
A message from the Alabama Attorney General's office.
Many of your Tiger teams are hitting the field, the court, or the track this weekend. We have everything you need to know to stay up to date with all of your favorite Auburn teams.
Softball gets things started this week, hosting Kennesaw State Wednesday. First pitch will be at 6 p.m. and can be seen on the SEC Network Plus.
Auburn will then welcome Tennessee for the 3-game SEC series Friday through Sunday. Friday's game is set to begin at 5:30 p.m. The game Saturday and Sunday will begin at 2 p.m. The game Friday will be on ESPNU, Saturdays will be on ESPN2, and Sunday's game can be seen on the SEC Network Plus.
Women's tennis will go on an SEC road trip this weekend, traveling to Missouri on Friday and Arkansas on Sunday. Matches Friday will begin at 3 p.m., with Sunday's matches beginning at 1 p.m.
Men's tennis will return home this weekend and will look for their first SEC wins, hosting Ole Miss Friday and Arkansas Alabama A&M Sunday. Matches Friday will begin at 6 p.m. The match Sunday against Arkansas will start at 1 p.m. with the match with Alabama A&M beginning at 4:30 p.m.
Baseball travels to Arkansas this weekend to play a 3-game series Friday through Sunday. Friday night's game will begin at 6:30 p.m. and will be on the SEC Network Plus. Saturday night's first pitch will be at 6 p.m. and will also be on the SEC Network Plus. And to finish the series off, Sunday's game will be at 4 p.m. and will be on the SEC Network.
Women's golf is back on the green this weekend in the Bryan National Collegiate in Brown Summit, North Carolina. Competition is set to begin Friday and last through Sunday.
Track and field will travel to Tucson, Arizona for the Gym Click Shootout competition. It's set to begin Friday and will last through Sunday.
Gymnastics is set to Salt Lake City to compete in the NCAA Regional Championship Saturday. Number 16 Auburn will square off against Utah, California, BYU, Stanford, and Southern Utah. Competition is set to begin at 5 p.m.
Football will take the field for the first time in 2018 Saturday. 8-day kickoff will be at 3 p.m. The game will be broadcasted on the SEC Network.
On Monday, men's golf will travel to Gastonia, North Carolina for the Gary Koch Invitational. Competition will start on Monday and last through Tuesday.
To stay updated with your favorite Auburn teams, go to our website, eagleeyeauburn.com, or follow us on Twitter at EETV_sports.
I'm Erin Wise.
And I'm Malia Smith.
From all of us here at Sports Night Auburn, thank you for joining us this evening, and good night.